My thing was tripping. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Us. Another podcast, another guest, finally, because I know y'all was tired of me just talking about myself. Honestly, I'd be tired of hearing myself talk about myself. So now that I finally have guests, I'd be so excited. But today I have a very special guest. I have my sister IYANA. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that I don't think, well, I've never heard anybody really talk about just unapologetically, but we're going to be talking about daddy issues.
Daddy issue.
And we and we gonna get really real to it because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, you always hear people talk about you got daddy issues and this is why you act this way, blah blah blah. So we gonna get into all of that because we both know, have some understanding about what that's like. Not the dogs. I swear it's all.
we got a crowd member.
He said, "Yeah, we know about that." But is there something that you want to like say or like introduce yourself before we like hop into this very
I mean, as you heard her say, my name's IYANA, and we've into this.
period food. So okay, first let's start with both of us. Let's talk about the relationships that we've had like with our dads, our biological sperm donors. You feel me?
Me first or you?
You can go first.
Okay. So, really, I never had or got that relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I always had father figures, and I never had a father in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he was there when he made me. He was there when I came out.
Right.
Raising me, it was always my mom. I never had a father.
Mm-hmm.
I always like missed the dads and donuts because I didn't want to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that person.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me, mine was opposite, right? Like I had my dad till I was like 11, maybe 12. So like he was doing all that. Like my dad was like the mom too, because my mom was always working, so like she was never home. So I just want to make a little disclaimer too before we start. This is not the parent bash or whatever. Like this is just our experience. We're telling the truth, and this is our truth, right? I just want to put that out there because I know a lot of parents don't talk about your parents like that.
Disclaimer.
Right, because I know everybody's gonna be like, you should be grateful for your parents, which at the end of the day, hey, thank you for making me, but this is how we feel. I just want to put that out there because everyone always has this stigma that because they're your parents, you have to like them or feel some type of way.
Yeah.
No, that's not realistic. That's not true.
The kid has to reach out for the relationship.
And we're gonna get into that too because that's so problematic, and that's
Later.
so. But yeah, my dad was like my best friend because me and him act so alike, and like he was always taking us to school. He was like getting us ready in the morning, doing all that. So like me and him were so close. And then when him and my mom broke up, it just like completely vanished. And then I had like those father figures, like my uncle, well, all my uncles really like were trying to be father figures, like my grandpa. But it's not the same. Like it's not like having your dad, especially like when you were used to him having been in your life already. So you know what I'm saying? It was, and it's like weird too because at that time that's middle school, right? So that's when the puberty hit. That's when the boys are hitting. That's when they have like father daughter dances and shit. And you're just like, I don't have none of that.
I can't go.
Like, you want me to bring my mom? Like, I bring my mom in the Do you like how do you think life would have been different, like if your dad was actually like involved in your life, like if he really made that effort to be there? Like do you think anything would really change?
Honestly, I feel like probably behavioral change. Like I mean, my mom is strict, but she's very lenient at times. So I would have probably that good cop, bad cop. Never got, yeah. And also growing up with a man, that probably would change. But overall, I think my personality and just how I grown up to become this woman I am. That's just based on of how I was raised without him.
Mm-hmm. Was it like a weird dynamic, like having your mom play like the mom and dad? Like at times, was that like frustrating or like?
At times, it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, all my friends had that 2 parent household,
Yeah.
and I was the oddball, which is
Yeah.
my mom. They'd be like, "Oh, like say Father's Day come around." Like
Mm-hmm.
I would text my friends for Father's Day for their fathers.
T.
I never like get that. Oh, tell your father happy Father's Day, because they know, like,
Right.
it's just stuff like that. Growing up,
See,
and
I
getting
would get
that.
like I would text and not get a response, and I'd be like,
Think about when I would text, I would be petty, and
mm-hmm.
I was sending this meme, and I stopped. I had to stop doing it after a while because I was like, man, it's just you just need to let go.
Right.
And that meme was sending my anger towards just through a little text, was sending my anger of you not being there, you not being in my. The meme was I think it's Ryan Gosling that he's very. And then he has the cup in his hand. It's like, cheers to not being a father.
Oh, you were bold. You were bold.
And like, it was just me like pushing my anger out simply during that one text.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing too, like I feel like people need to normalize children being upset with their parents not being there. Like I feel like I'm so sick of people always trying to make the child be understanding for their parents not being there. Like they have every right to feel like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying that because it's just for us. I mean in general, like every kid has every right to, like if their parent chose not to be in their life, they have every right to be mad. They have every right to sit up there and be like, I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they have to change the narrative of like, that's your parent. You have to. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
That is your parent. You have to be nice. What if they die? Yeah. Well, I'm here this whole time, and you haven't been here. So what if he died?
Right. Right. We could all die. Let's talk about it.
Always the guilt trip on the kid, and it's never the guilt trip on the parent.
Right. And let's talk about another thing too, because you had said something that really hit home. It's the fact of like the kid having to reach out, right? Like this idea of like, why don't you text your dad or text your mom? Mm-hmm. Like talk about that for me. Like how was that besides like the petty gifts? Like
it was always like, oh, why don't you text your dad? Like why do I have to text him? I didn't sit there and make me just to go raise 2 other children.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do I have to reach out when I'm doing good by myself and without you? And it's just like, I have to reach out because we don't have this relationship because you chose not to have that relationship. It's like nobody ever kept me away from him. It was nothing like that. So I just don't understand why I have to do the communicating, when it was you left. You did your own.
One thing I learned when my parents like split up, my dad was so hurt by whatever him and my mom went through that it went off on me and AV, right? Like they were young when they had me, right? They at first obviously you're always gonna be in love at first, like, oh, everything's great and like we're gonna just be, and then reality hit, right? I guess I was the reality bomb. Again, didn't ask to be here, but whatever. But it's just it's just like I feel like he was so caught up in whatever they broke or whatever happened with them. He thought, okay, I can't have her, so like these kids, like, and it's just like, dang, like I don't understand what happened between you and mom, but like, what does that have to do with me, right? Like, what does that have to do with like your relationship with me? Like, is it so you only wanted to have me as your daughter when she was your girlfriend or your wife or whatever? Like, how? Like, how's that? Not the talk.
See, the dog barked at
Right,
the
it was
right.
like, yes. It was like, amen. But, like, do you think, like, that's what it is, too? Like, for your parents, like, was it just, like, they couldn't make it work, so then all of a sudden he was just like, I'm gonna just go to where it could work, or...
I personally don't know. I think it has to be some deep issues within himself.
Let's talk about it. Let's therapy.
So, I believe he never had a dad in his life. So, but it's just like, why keep doing that same broken chain?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you're being a dad to your 2 other children or whatever he does. I don't know what he does. But you still have one that's like the forgotten. And I'm not going to allow myself to be treated as that forgotten or the, you know, like I'm that oddball or whatever.
A lot of times they say it's like a parent's guilt. Right? Like when I remember I had a talk with my dad. I think we're gonna do a podcast too. I don't know though, but you know, 'cause that's a mess. But we had discussions about, you know, like where I was just like, yeah, you left. Like that was a real asshole move. Like that was, you know, because at that time, like when he left, I felt like so alone. I was like, bro, I don't know like what to do because I'm entering this stage with hella hormones. I'm like going off on everybody. I'm trying to like help my family. Like I'm trying to help my sister. So it's like trying to figure it all out. But then what he would say a lot of times was he just felt the guilt. Like he felt like the remorse, which you should, right? Like you should feel like that. But it's like little do they know if they just could admit how wrong they were and like really have a genuine apology, and you know what I'm saying, that could have saved so much like damage, because I feel like once a kid gets to like a point where they're older, they just start not to care, right? Like it gets to a point where like you're too late. If you're reading this, it's too late.
You hit the nail.
Right, because like they always come when you're like old, like when you're about to like graduate high school, like when you're about to move on to be an adult.
Graduation.
The time you need a parent is like, I don't care what nobody say, like 11 to like 18. Like you need your parents in those years. So you trying to come at 18? We already went through.
I've been through all my twists and turns.
Right. Now you're just cruising, and now they want to come in.
I fell down and I had to pick myself up.
What is one like? How did you deal with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you deal with that void? Like they say, like. You be having.
I think once I just, you know, got in my head, like, I'm 18, like, when I was 18, like, I'm 18, it's like, ain't no relationship gonna start now. I'm just thankful for all my father figures I had to at least give me that game of having a father, or, like, that game about boys, being able to talk to a male figure without, like, you know, you talk to your mom, but being talked to a male, like, the thing, my father figures.
Yeah. What's, like, the best advice you got from, like, one of your father figures?
My uncle, okay. He said...
He's always the uncles.
He said... But the way he said it, I gotta break it down. He was... See, you're a 50 ball. And he was like, don't let somebody decrease your value by who can't even bring that to the table.
Right.
So he was basically saying, don't let nobody lower your status.
Yeah.
When you're already on top. So, shout out.
Okay, Uncle.
Look, if you hear this, you know this is my shit.
Right, okay, Uncle. No, I think so too, because a lot of times I think like my biggest thing was my value. I felt my value went down because I'm like, if my old dad could leave me, fuck, right?
Thank you.
I think I handled my void differently, and this is the first time I've ever talked about this. So Lord help me. I used boys as my void. Like I had crushes back to back to back. Like I like you don't like me? Okay, I'm gonna go find somebody who does because I was looking for the attention. I was looking for someone
Yeah.
to be my comfort. I was looking for somebody to like basically so I didn't feel alone, right? So I'm crush over here, crush like even if you just texting me on Kick, I'm like, oh God, like text me on Kick. You know what I'm saying? I think like it was really bad in high school because I got to a point where like if I wasn't talking to anybody, like I felt like a failure. I was like, "Oh my god, like I must just suck in life because nobody want to talk to me." You know what I'm saying? But it's just more like I had to realize how unhealthy that was. I think once senior year hit, I understood like, okay,
Yeah.
this ain't it.
As a young child trying to maneuver, you see that attention. It's like, well, I didn't get that attention from my dad, but this cute dude giving it to me.
Right?
So,
Who's my dad? Who's my dad? Like I'm on him. Like
who's a dad when you got a daddy?
right?
No, but like seriously,
Yeah. That was the main thing where I was like, you know what, my dad don't be in my life. I'm gonna go find people who are. But in the process of trying to force, not even force, but trying to find people, you like end up with like people who are worse. You're just like,
thank you. And it's like from the situation, it also you learn stuff like what you don't want for your family.
Yes.
That's what I know. I know what not to look for my future father or my kid. I don't want that.
Right. Let's talk about it because like what are some like non-negotiables like for your future husband? Like what are things like that cannot happen?
I think personally, for me, it's just your first kid gotta be my first kid. It goes into different drama. And I think something else is like if we can't communicate effectively or like you're not showing emotion to me before I'm pregnant, how do I expect you to be there for me in a time of need?
Yeah. I would definitely say the whole baby mama drama.
Yeah.
I feel like it can work if there has to be respect everywhere, right? Like everybody has to respect each other's place. And I feel like that goes for everybody because the I don't want to say baby mamas. I'm not going to say that. Let's cut that up. The mother of the children, right? They have to respect the new wife, the new girlfriend, her place. And the new girlfriend got to respect, okay, those are their children. So, of course, whatever happened before. But I feel like a lot of times, it always happens like this. It's always the baby's like, somebody's not done, right? Like, somebody is like, no.
I crossed.
Yeah. And it's just like, you can't, he didn't pick you. Like, I'm sorry. Like, but like, lines get crossed and it's like, that's where it gets messy. So that's understandable. I feel like communication, yeah, if you can't talk, it's yelling for me. Don't yell at me. Like, I promise you, like, if you yell at me, I will go deaf. Like, at that point, it's like,
yelling.
oh, you look like you gonna fight. Like, you look like you Because, like, who are you yelling at? Like, I feel like people who are like, yeah, like, I'm just going, this is me getting my point across. It's like, but the only thing that you're getting across is that you're yelling at me, and I don't like that. You know? That's so weird, too, because it's crazy. A lot of people start families in this decade that we're in our 20s. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't even...
So sad.
Not you being so sad. How do you think you can break generational curses? Because it seems like you said earlier, they just keep repeating and repeating and repeating.
Yeah.
Like, how do you break them? You know, what's the secret?
It's not necessarily a certain way to break them. I think you gotta. First of all, I don't think it's not even love. It's just about two parties.
Yeah.
Gotta be there the whole time. And building the family around love with the two parties.
Yeah.
Will generational curses, and my kids will be with two parents.
Period.
Quoted was today.
Quoted now. Honestly, no, because unless some extreme circumstance, like once I get married, it's wraps. Like it's done so.
Extreme circumstance, we could still raise our child together.
Right.
That's, and if we not together, I still want to raise my child together, and you want to be in my child's life, or whether my life. Right. That's the thing. You understand, because since you're not with her, doesn't mean you still don't got this child.
Right. But people be so hurt. People be so hurt by whatever happened between them. They make their kids suffer, and that's so sad. Because like whatever didn't work with y'all had nothing to do with that baby. And that's the truth. Most of the time, though, from what I've seen, it usually, well, no, I guess it goes both ways, either the guy or the girl. It goes both ways, so I'm gonna take that back. That's not true, but because it just makes them suffer more. Where was I at? Sorry. If your dad was watching this right now, right? If he's watching this, first of all, subscribe if you're watching. No, stop. If he was watching this right now, what would you say, right? Let's say, okay, what's something you wish you could tell him back then, and then now, that we're in adulthood and I'd like to say we've matured a little bit, right? Like, it's still petty a little bit, but, like, what is something you would say now, too?
I mean, back then it would have been.
Right.
But
sometimes it's still, like, a little, like, it's like a little.
But I think now, since what happened the weekend of my birthday, I think now I'm just saying, like, I think I let go. Like, I wouldn't say I forgive right now, but I'm just done being mad. I'm done trying to I wouldn't say blame, but I'm just done, like, done with you. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm just done with the fact that you just try to come in and out when you please. Like, I don't need that. I have more than enough people in my circle, in my family, who's going to go to bat for me when I need them and not go in and out of my life when they feel like, oh, let me see what she's doing. Yeah. Oh, I see she went somewhere. Oh, you know, I think personally, after I said what I said the week of my birthday, I think I let it all out. I think that was 20 years of anger bottled up that I let out.
Yeah. I agree. If I could say, I feel like I've said everything to his face. If I could, back then it would just be like, why'd you leave type stuff, you know, because I think that's one thing that made me so emotional, just because I was just like, that's where the abandonment issues went in, like me feeling like I have to have somebody at all times. Now I would just say, I think I'm at the point of forgiveness. Like, I feel like I'm at the point where it's like I would never understand why, but at the same time I would never understand what you were going through, you know what I'm saying? And like, whatever that was, and like whatever that is, like, it's fine. I would also say thank you though, because I don't feel like I would be as strong or like as confident as I am now being able to talk about stuff like this if he was there, because I feel like he'd be my crutch. Like, that, you know, I just go to my dad now, like, you know, like, I feel strong, like, independent. I could sit up here and say, yeah, I hate my dad sometimes, but hey. Like,
yeah, I would have to say thank you, because that was like, I wouldn't say he was a motivator, but like,
he pushed you, like, you gonna watch me succeed now.
stigma that, like, oh, you didn't want me, oh, you didn't raise me, oh, you didn't want to be in my life. Well, look what I did without you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's that and the third.
Yeah. Don't come back when, like, I'm doing good.
Like, when I'm up.
Right.
I don't want to be famous and rich. I just want to be rich. So don't come back when I'm rich.
They will. They're going to be knocking on the door like, hello.
No, thank you.
Have you ever, like, heard from guys, like, our age or whatever, basically saying, like, oh, like, that girl got daddy issues, like, da-da-da, like, have you heard it, like, being tossed around?
Yeah, they're always like, oh, she got daddy issues, da-da-da, easy to manipulate, blah, 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 blah.
They got me a few times. I'm a clown. Look, y'all got me a few times, but not no more. But a few of them got me. You know who you are.
Hey, you know who you are.
You know who you are, but,
But it's just like all these stereotypes. Oh, she's bitter, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. She's not that, but like all that.
Yeah.
And it's not really that.
But then, like, do guys have the label of, like, mommy issues? Because you don't hear that.
They do to a certain extent. It's the mama's boy.
No, but I'm talking about, like, if a guy doesn't have a good relationship with his mom.
They don't.
Mama's boys?
No, if the mom wasn't there, that nobody really talks about dudes like that. Daddy issues with the girls.
Right. Which I never understood, because, like, why not? Why are we not talking about... Let's talk about everybody. Like, what's your issue? But I feel like, because it's, like, it's so easy for, like, everybody just to be like, oh, she got daddy issues. Mm-hmm. Let me go over there. And it's like... But I don't think that's, like, a characteristic. Like, I don't think it's, like, a personality trait. Like...
That's not a plus.
Yeah, I think, too, like... People try to make you feel bad about it, and I think that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. Like, people feel...
Some people hide it as well.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, there'll be a lot of times I go to, like, a sleepover or something. They'd be like, yeah, how's your dad? And, like, everybody, my dad's a firefighter. My dad... I'm like, my dad...
He's somewhere.
He's breathing. My dad breathing somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what my dad doing. Like... To the point where you start making excuses for them, right? Like, oh, my dad just busy. He couldn't really do X, Y, and Z. Oh, my dad couldn't be on my... Like, going to basketball games was the worst. Because, like, it'd be my dad's entire family, and then it, like, where's your dad, though? Like, my mom is closer with my dad's family than he is. That's so awkward. I don't care. No, that's so awkward. Because it's like, you can't even go to your own family events. And everybody's like, where's your dad? Where's your dad? I don't care.
Him.
I'm just sitting here like, But I think, like, at least for me, I made so many excuses for him. And me and my mom used to always argue because I would always blame my mom. So my mom was like the villain. I was like, you ruined it. You're the one who couldn't make it work. You know what I'm saying? Which is, like, so unfair now. But at the time, I was like, I hate you. Like, this is your fault. Like, did you ever have moments like that with your mom? Or is it just, like, different situation?
The thing about my mom, she was very open. Because he lives in Sac. I get my hair done in Sac. Like, oh, Ayana's getting her hair done. Da-da-da-da-da. If you would like to come see her, we'll be here.
Yeah.
Oh. Ayana has game in Sac. She's very, like, she's not gonna be like, oh, you can't see her for the rest of your life. Like, don't care. Like, if you come here, like, I gave you my hand. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to take it, that's on you. Yeah. The ball's in you. But, you see how that went.
So, I mean, your mom did everything. But I understand that, too. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You can't, at a certain point, you just can't make excuse. And, like, you grown. Yeah. I think now being grown and you gonna do what you want to do.
You're a whole adult.
You gonna do what you want to do. Like,
priorities together.
Oh my god. It's the realizations for me. If
yeah,
you
it's
could,
like
it's like connecting. If you could say something to your past self, what would you say to her right now? If she was staring at you,
you came along.
mm,
You're going to go along, but try not to let the daddy issues take the whole toll on you.
mm-hmm.
As now I don't know. It's like I came to peace with it.
Yeah.
I don't forgive you, but I'm at peace. I'm not gonna forget. It's like, oh, just welcome you into my life. No.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I love father figures who were in my life. They helped me to become who I am.
Period. Shout out to all the father figures out there. Cause they
don't let me name drop it.
Look, Adam.
Like, I'm telling you.
Do you think there would ever be, like, any kind of possibility in the future? Like, even 1%?
Well, I honestly, after what happened...
Yeah. Well, that's still fresh, though, too, though. So,
But I think it was just fresh and triggering. It shouldn't have been that way.
Yeah.
But personally, I just think if you come correct, well, not necessarily come correct, it's just like knowing how to, like, okay, you're trying to build a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the way to, get to know IYANA or get to back in that bond with IYANA. No.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think it's just, baby steps you gotta try, but it's not even that. It's just like, don't do that.
Yeah. Don't force it, right? Like, don't force it.
I feel like it was forced just because I have relationships with your mother. Like, I have a relationship better with your mother, and now all of a sudden you see I'm communicating with her. All of a sudden you want to budge that in.
Mm-hmm. It's the entitlement, right? Like, just because...
And it's just like, you think you're that person.
Yeah.
That title. You don't have that title in my life. You're basically my sperm donor.
Right. You gotta earn that. And
literally, you were never a father in my whole 20 years of life. So, you just can't come like that and then expect a relationship to just form out there.
I think that's a misconception, too. Like, they don't understand that has to be earned. And, like, also, a person can be a father and not be blood, in the same way that they can be blood and not be a father.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to all the fathers.
Bro, it got to the point where, like, I'll never forget when me and my dad got cool and I forgot about Father's Day because it had been so long to where, like, I just didn't, like, I had no like, I was like, oh, that's the thing. That's the thing, like, okay.
What's in your brain? What?
Yeah, I was like, hey, Dad. He was like, well, you don't know what today is? I'm like, what, June? I was like, it's June. Like, it's Father's Day. I was like, oh. Happy Father's Day. Oh. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching. We really clown him. But, like, no, to be honest, though, I think it's just because I wanted to talk about this topic a lot because it's something that I feel like has impacted both of us in different ways. But when we got closer, like, I realized so many similarities when it came to that. Like, it was like, oh my god, somebody who gets it. Like, somebody who understands.
Like I said before, all my friends had dads in their life, so now it's just like, yeah, we're
like, girl, you don't got daddy. Look, come here.
Wait, you got daddy issues? I got daddy issues. Like, let's talk.
Do you think, like, do you look at them as daddy issues anymore? Like, do you still think of them the same way as you did before?
Yes, they're still, but I probably need to go to Like, like it's stuff like certain triggers and stuff like it's
triggers.
News, but I just don't want to give him that power. Like you made all these, you didn't. Well, you did. But I can't give you that power. I'm not giving him no power.
What is like some of your triggers? Like what's something that like gets you?
Well, one trigger.
Well, let's name the whole list. Let's go.
I think it's just him trying to pop up when he thinks, like, say, okay, we're being unapologetic. This is the truth. So say you text me on my birthday, this year. Then stop. Then all of a sudden, you know IYANA has a birthday this year.
It's the same time every year. I
mean, you
just put in the calendar.
Just weird. And then definitely another trigger is him referring to himself as my father, which you are not. Like, you've never been that.
Yeah.
You could be, a donor. Like DNA cells. The only thing I really got from him was the last name.
See, I used to be petty when my mom be like, "That's your baby daddy over there." I'm like, "Look at your baby daddy."
To this day, that's your baby daddy.
How did you deal with like the inconsistency? Like, how did you like find a way to just not let it affect you anymore?
I think I'm still working on that. I think I'm still working on it, but now that I kind of blocked out communication, I just need that in my life. That coming in whenever you feel like it, just because you see on Facebook, oh, IYANA did something. Or somebody sent you what IYANA did that was posted on Facebook.
I feel like that it'll start to apply to everybody, though. Once you stop taking shit from your parents, you stop taking shit from... Like, it's so easy to be like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Once you have that power... Because, like, you're telling me, you just told your parents you're not taking their bullshit no more, so now you expect me to take it from you? Who, like... Let's talk about it. Let's talk. If I had a flag, I would. Let's talk about it. I know this has nothing to do with daddy issues, but since we are on the topic, because it is connected to daddy issues, right? Relationship red flags that I feel like a lot of times, and I'm just speaking for me, I would like be colorblind because I'm like, well, it's not worse than my dad, so like I'm gonna just close my eyes. Yeah, I'm like, well, my dad did way worse, so he's not that bad. Like what's some red flags that you like would look away from?
That's the thing about the comparing. I have to talk about that because it's like, oh, he doing this, but my dad done worse. And that's what we gotta stop doing because he could be the same trouble,
just younger, right? Just younger, like.
And it's like, oh, him. It's just like all that. I think a red flag in a relationship relating to my daddy issues is if I have to think about something negative and make it seem not negative, that's a red flag already because I'm making excuses for you already.
Right. I think my biggest red flag when it comes to relationships that has to do with my dad is like when I feel like I have to like cater to your needs or else you're gonna leave me, right? Like I feel like I can't have one bad day because if I have one bad day, you're just gonna get up and leave and not like what you see. But in reality, it's like you put up with somebody's bad days for months or like weeks at a time, and then it's like, okay, I'm over here accepting you in your purest form. Like you should be able to accept me when I'm having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my abandonment.
abandonment. Because then I need constant reassurance.
And that's the thing too. I don't always want to have to ask for reassurance. Like there are times, just give it to me. Like just give me something.
Oh, you text it a certain way, you gonna leave. I already know you gonna leave like my daddy.
Right. Words of affirmation are like you know what they always say, your love language is everything you lacked as a child. So for me, words of affirmation and quality time, those two right there. Like I need that at all times. And again, stemming from daddy issues.
It's just all connects.
It really does. And I think like for the future too, to like realize that one day we're gonna be moms, and like to know I would never want my kid to go through what I went through in that. Like I wish my husband or ex-husband or what I wish he would, because it's gonna be me and him. Like no.
But even if we're not cool, you gonna have a relationship with my baby.
Our baby, the baby we create.
I mean, but like the thing is, you can't force them to have a relationship too.
Right.
It's something they want.
Right. That's why it gotta be talked about before the child gets here, right? Like before the first date. Look, you trying to you gonna be a deadbeat or not? Because we're not having that over here. No, I think it all makes sense, man. It all makes sense. Like this is just because I never like when you think like you talk about it to yourself.
Talking about it,
to somebody else who gets it though. Because you ever tried talking about daddy issues to somebody who has a dad and they just don't get it? And it's like well, my dad does this.
I don't care.
Good for him.
No, it's just like they try to be empathetic. Well, they are empathetic, but they still don't understand. Yeah. It's just like the vice versa. I wouldn't understand a 2-parent household. I can't really talk about it.
Right. Not to say, and also this is to say, not that 2-parent households are always perfect, because they probably have their fair share of problems too. But it's just like you can't expect, like you I don't know, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Like be empathetic. Don't just be an asshole about it.
Yeah, they are empathetic. It's just sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, you're being overly dramatic."
Oh my god, that right there makes my blood boil. Like, please don't.
Like the fathers that, "Oh, you guys don't have to do this like on Twitter. Oh, you guys don't do this every Father's Day. Give it to the mothers." Like, if they played that role,
they deserve
Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Right. They can have both. And what about it? Keep it pushing. Like
always talk about the single mom. Like,
oh my god. I feel rejuvenated. Like I feel like I'm healed. I'm powerful. Like
nobody can mess with us now.
You know what I'm saying? If you guys would like a part 2 of Daddy, or even just another talk, give us a topic. Yeah,
Do they want questions? Because I'm here all night.
I'm literally like, if anybody else, because I think like I hope little girls and little boys watch this and they realize that you will be okay. Like you will not break because if your parents don't want to be in your life, wish them well, because it will motivate you to become the best version of yourself. And in the end, they always come back. They always come back. That goes for anybody. Once they realize what they lost, they will always come back. So please, do not cry. Cry if you need to, get it out. But don't dwell on it. Because honestly, they will need you before you need them. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, I got something to say on that. Like, us personally, me and John has accomplished many things.
Many things. Let's put it out there.
Not to brag, but those kids who can relate to this situation, don't think of it as a downfall.
Yeah.
Use that to still shit on them. That's what. Use it to shit on them. Because look, you didn't my life. Because now I'm doing big things. And guess what I did? I did it without you. So use it to just, do you and be a better you and become a better you.
Period. And it's not even to be petty. It's just real life.
Like, you see all these accomplishments I did without you.
And you still gonna do it.
And we still going up. Only guys.
And we, you know what I'm saying? We still cutting up because we still go to LA.
But that's another.
And that's another podcast. But I want to say I appreciate you so much for coming on here, because I know this is not an easy topic, and we have kept this in for years, and we're one of those people who we try to act like everything's okay, and like we've been one of those people to not talk about it, and now it's like we were ready to talk about it, and it is what it is, and we were unapologetically us. So like this was like the best. You feel me? And to anybody who has any comments, feel free to leave them, but you gotta tell your truth. This was our truth. This is what it was like for us and what it is for us, and it's still an ongoing process. We don't say this because it's like we got it all figured out. We still have our moments, whatever, but at the end of the day, we get through life. We keep it going.
Yeah, you always have those days. Yeah.
You be reminiscing a little bit. It's like, let me stop. Let me pull you back into reality, sis. Like,
get a little slap.
Right. Not to slap. Get it together. But yes, I'm about to end this because I need to have enough storage to actually save it. But then I'll try to FaceTime you back once I get this saved.
Okay.
But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching another episode, and we will be back with another one soon.